Hello. Happy day to all you kiddos, both big and small. When I got dressed this morning, I decided I'd put on my Smokey the Bear t-shirt. Next week is Earth Day, and Zoe and I had big plans to go and celebrate Earth Day and see what we could learn this year at the Expo Center, but unfortunately, it got canceled. So I thought I would try to come up with a few things to share with you in honor of Earth Day. And what better way to start than Smokey the Bear? Do you know who Smokey the Bear is? He's been around longer than I have, and I really like this fella a lot.
Smokey Bear says only you can prevent wildfires.
Smokey's story. In 1950, a tiny bear cub played happily in the forest. Somewhere in the forest, people were being careless with their fire. Soon, the fire was burning out of control, a wildfire. Trees and bushes were in flames. Quick as he could, the tiny bear climbed a tree to save his own life. Luckily, someone called the ranger station, and before long, firefighters were putting out the fire. A firefighter rescued the cub, who was injured and very scared. The firefighter gave the cub to Ranger Ray Bell. Ranger Ray and his daughter brought the tiny bear to Dr. Edwin Smith, an animal doctor who fixed the cub's injuries and returned him to Ranger Ray. Ranger Ray named the cub Smokey Bear after the wildfire prevention character. Smokey Bear grew up and promised to do all he could to teach people how to prevent wildfires. So way back in 1944, Smokey Bear was just made up. He was made up to represent and to promote the importance of safety and preventing wildfires. But in 1950, in the Capitan Mountains in New Mexico, there was a real wildfire, and a real little black bear cub climbed up a tree for safety, and he stayed up there as the fire blew through. And many of the park rangers were there and had to take cover for safety too. And once the fire had passed, the rangers took the little cub from the tree and took him in for first aid and for healing, and he became Smokey Bear. And after he was healed, he was taken to the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., where he lived out the rest of his life. He lived there until 1976. And I have a couple pictures of the real, original Smokey Bear. Isn't that neat? Do you know the rules to prevent fires? Smokey Bear wants me to share the 5 rules of fire prevention with you. Rule number 1, only you can prevent wildfires. Number 2, always be careful with fire. Rule number 3, never play with matches or lighters. Rule number 4, always watch your campfire. And rule number 5, make sure your campfire is completely out before leaving. Smokey Bear needs you to follow these rules to help prevent wildfires.
Smokey Bear says only you can prevent wildfires.
I just wanted to also mention that there could be an occasion where you would see a fire in the wilderness. And sometimes the firefighters find it necessary to burn to control the wildlife. That is called a controlled burn. And I just don't want that to alarm you if you should ever see that.
How well do you know your wildlife animals? Animals can live in the wild in a forest, And they can also live by streams, creeks, lakes, rivers. Do you know what this is? If you guessed a bear, you guessed right. And a bear can live in the forest and go to the stream because he would love to catch fish. Have you ever seen movies of bears catching fish in a stream? It's pretty neat. This is a fox. Fox live in the wild. Aren't they pretty? Ribbit, ribbit. What is that? If you guessed frog, you got it. Frogs definitely need to live by water. And what is this? A deer and her baby, a fawn. A mother deer is a doe. Deer. Do you know what this is? This is a beaver. Beavers most definitely live in water, and they chop down trees with those big front teeth of theirs, and they build dams to stop up the water. Woo! Do you know what this is? If you guessed an owl, you guessed right. What's this? Fish. Fish most definitely live in the water. Fish. If you guess this is a squirrel, you got it right. Squirrels can live anywhere. I see them in my own yard. What's this pretty thing who flies all around? It's a dragonfly, most often found by the water also. This little story talks about seasons. Nearly everyone enjoys the change of seasons on Earth, from winter to spring, from summer to fall. But why do our seasons change? Well, in short, it's because the way the Earth is tilted and orbits or rotates around the sun. The lazy bear. It is spring in the forest. The snow has gone. Leaves are growing and the animals are waking up. Bruno the bear is still asleep. He doesn't know that it is spring. Listen, Bruno is snoring. Now it's summer. It's warm and the animals are having lots of fun. But where is Bruno? Bruno is still asleep. He doesn't know that it's summer. Now it's autumn. The leaves are turning red, yellow, and orange, and the animals are getting ready for winter. But where is Bruno? Bruno is still asleep. He doesn't know that it's autumn. Now it's winter, and you can't see the animals. They're asleep in their warm homes. But where's Bruno? Oh, what a nice long sleep. Snow? It's winter? I'm all alone? It's spring again. The animals are very happy. They're having a party. But where's Bruno? Bruno is awake at last. Oh, now he knows it's spring. This is another friend of Smokey the Bear. Give a hoot, don't pollute. Woodsy Owl says, give a hoot, don't pollute. Let's take good care of our earth. Thanks so much for joining me here again today. I just want each and every one of you to always remember how truly precious you are and how very loved you are. I'll see you next time.